Hey there, I'm still on my sup if you've seen some of the other videos. Beautiful Thorness Bay on the Isle of Wight. Let's talk about staff retention. So one of the biggest costs to a business, and it's a real hidden important cost, is when you lose people. So when you lose someone, you're not only losing that person, and sometimes that's a blessing, let's be honest. We've all had people working in our teams where we go, thank goodness you've gone. There's a chance to get some fresh blood in, and but we shouldn't really be thinking like that. Ideally, the candidate is going to be a good one and they're going to want to stay in the post and work hard with you guys. So the platform, we've designed the platform to enhance retention, and you can do that through building really awesome e-learning classes that are motivational. Maybe you're putting topics on that people want to self-develop on and things like this, or you just creating really just awesome content. And your own teams can do that. You know, I can't stress the importance of creating an ambassadorship really in your organization and having those people plugged directly into the learning and development team, where they're actually coming forward with a little bit of content. And you might ask someone to produce, let's say, a 3-minute video or a 4-minute video or a slide deck, and talk to the slide deck to give it some animation, you know, once a quarter. And that's no big ask, and people will be really pleased to do it. So that enables you to share wisdom and best practices really easily, and you can do other things. The other really important part of the platform is the ability to run surveys, pulse checks, reviews, appraisals, satisfaction scores. What a lot of senior managers and owners of business don't realize is that your frontline employees often have a very good idea about what's wrong with the business. So a good manager, if they're able to ask these questions to these teams of people with all of their wisdom and experience of dealing with maybe unpleasant customers or product issues, things like this, they can pretty much tell you what's wrong. So using surveys and pulse checks, you can create a questionnaire, single choice, multiple choice, and free text response, and you can report on these. You can blind all the data, and we've got clients running everything from, you know, after Black Lives Matter and Me Too, we've had a CEO that wanted to deep dive into his organization. Were there any harassment issues that he wasn't aware of in his company? And to his shock, there was. But what he was doing for his employees and his teams was saying in these surveys and questionnaires that this isn't acceptable to me, and while it might have happened in the past and things might have been quite bad for some people, he was going to get to the bottom of it. And he was able to do that using survey tools. And then because the reports are so graphic, it's really easy to share that blinded data. Now, our detailed reports, which the CEO would see, can actually have the people's contact information within that, so he can actually reach out to those people. So that was probably an extreme case that we've had. But we also have other really wise and seasoned managers who are using surveying to run pulse checks on what issues in sales or what issues in customer service are we facing. What operational issues are we doing? Where is waste happening within the business? And what would you do to solve that? It's fantastic. Gives tremendous insight. And by just asking those questions, leaves the actual employee or your contractor or your customer empowered. And they're feeling really great. But the really important thing is, if you ask for this information, make sure that you're acting on the outcomes of it. So don't ask it just for a brand recognition or for hoping that things, you know, will get better on its own. If you're asking what the problem is, be sure to go and fix it. So that's really good, and we'll show you, if you just use the Contact Us, I can show you how quick it is to build a review, push that out either organizational wide or just to specific niche areas, and get feedback. Our other customers have taken this a step forward and actually turned their annual reviews and appraisals, which, as we all know, are nearly impossible to run just because of the amount of time it takes to sift through handwritten notes often, or documents, and you're just reading someone's like, and you don't really get it. Whereas asking 5 really awesome questions enables you to run a review and appraisal rather than, let's say, annually. You could run it monthly if you wanted to. And that way you're able to get feedback, and using single and multiple choice questions, you can ask people's level of satisfaction in the role. You can spot signs of people potentially leaving the business way sooner than needed. Now, the other aspect of the system of retention is sometimes you don't want to retain people. Now, this is where the learning management system can be used to track people who just consistently fail to attend training. So this is their e-learning, maybe it's about SOPs, and they just don't get it done. For some businesses, they've used this as a way to root out bad employees that they could not get rid of by any other means, because most generally, a bad employee will not bother to do the training. They're the people who complain the loudest. They're the people who refuse to attend training. They refuse to accept the offers of help you're trying to give them. But the brilliance of the learning system is that this is all captured, and this is evidence for you. And if you make training, adherence and compliance, and the fact that you're running surveys, reviews and appraisals across the business, and you truly are engaging and seeking opinion and doing your best to actually improve the business and the outcomes for employees, then anybody not bothering with training really does need to go. And that's how you need to think about things. And our clients are seeing retention rates soar by 60+% in many cases when they're putting in place the pre-hiring program, the onboarding program, and professional updates and career enhancement things, best practices in our business, and they're just pushing this through, tracking and monitoring it. Now, I'm really running aground, so I better get on with my paddling, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you further up the coast.